going to read a story about a mole who loves labeling things. Labels can be used to name or describe something, usually an object or a place. Labels are kind of like signs in that way, that they're written down and they can give us some information. Well, in this story, Mole is labeling everything around him. He's giving everything around him, the forest where he lives, a label of its name. So he's put a label here that says frog and a label here that says caterpillar. He's naming everything. But then he comes across something kind of unusual and he doesn't know what it is. So instead of naming it, Mole starts adding labels to describe or tell about the way that it feels and looks. Then the creature wakes up, opens its big jaws, and scares Mole. So Mole puts a label on the creature that says, dangerous. Dangerous. We're going to read this book to find out if this creature really is dangerous or if that label does not match. Labels should match whatever they're on, whether it's to name the object or describe, tell about the object. That's what we're going to be thinking about today. Does this label of dangerous really match this creature that Mole meets? Let's get started. This is Dangerous by Tim Warnes. Dangerous. Mole loved labeling things. There he is in the forest. Rum-tum-ta-lum-tum. He labeled all sorts of things. Anything, really. Naming things was what Mole liked best. So here he's labeled an anthill and a pine cone and a ladybug. And also down here, he's labeled poop. One day, Mole found something unusual on his path. What is this strange thing, he wondered. He poked it gently, and then he stuck a label on it, and the label says, lumpy. Because remember, he doesn't know what to name it, so he's just going to put labels on according to the way it looks and feels. It's lumpy, and another bumpy. And then he added a few more. Rough, knobbly, huge, pokey, ribbed, squishy, sharp, gigantic, pine coney. Kind of feels like a pine cone. But Mole still didn't know what the thing was. And then suddenly, the enormous, that means really big, lumpy, bumpy thing gave a big stretch and yawned a terrifying yawn. Don't eat me, squealed Mole as he dived for cover. But the lumpy, bumpy thing just rolled over and went back to sleep. Mole peered out from the bushes. That thing looks dangerous, he whispered. What do you think? Does this lumpy, bumpy, sleeping thing look dangerous? He did open his mouth. It looked like he might eat Mole. But I think it was just a yawn. He's really sleepy. That thing looks dangerous, whispered Mole. Somebody might get hurt. And he scribbled out another label. Then he crept, oh so carefully, over to the sleeping beast. Label says dangerous. Said he wants to put it on the lumpy bumpy thing so that other people can read the label and know that he's dangerous. Doesn't want anyone to get hurt. So he went to put the Mole on the lumpy bumpy thing, but he wasn't quiet enough and he wasn't quick enough. And the lumpy bumpy thing woke up and licked its teeth and gobbled up all of the labels. Slurp, chomp, yum, yum, yum. Wait. So Mole was going to put a label on him that said dangerous, but labels have to match the thing that they're either pointing to or on, the thing that they're naming or describing. Does this guy seem really dangerous? I'm not sure yet. Stop that, cried Mole. You can't eat them. And he stomped off in a humph. But wherever Mole went, the lumpy bumpy thing went too. What do you think so far? Does the label dangerous match this guy? Does he seem dangerous? It wanted to play. It thought Mole was wonderful. But Mole says, go away. Mole did not feel the same way at all. And the lumpy bumpy thing was still gobbling up his labels. He's still putting labels on everything. This one says stump, rock. Burp. That does it, yelled Mole. You're a slurpy, burpy, lumpy, bumpy, greedy, naughty thing. So now Mole has told this guy right here that he's naughty and greedy and burpy. None of those things are very nice. I think Mole's feeling really mad because the lumpy bumpy thing was gobbling up all his labels. Still don't know if he's dangerous though. The lumpy bumpy thing sniffled quietly. A great big tear rolled down its cheek. And another. And then a few more, and Mole squirmed and looked at the ground. I think Mole really hurt the lumpy bumpy thing's feelings when he used those unkind words. The lumpy bumpy thing stuck a label on its tummy, and he put a label on himself that said sorry. So he said, I'm sorry for gobbling up all your labels. I'm sorry too, said Mole. Sorry for making him sad. Then he scribbled down a brand new word on his label. Friend. So instead of labeling him as dangerous, now Mole's labeling him as his friend. That looks like it made him really happy. And that's the end. And it looks like they figured out their friendship. The lumpy bumpy thing isn't gobbling up the labels anymore. And it looks like he's let Mole stick labels all over him. And now the labels are nice words to describe this guy who's not actually dangerous at all. They say things like unique, or special, and friendly, kind, sensitive. Yeah, it hurt his feelings when Mole used those unkind words with him. Beautiful and forgiving. So when Mole said sorry, he said it's okay. We can still be friends. They look really happy together. What a great friendship. This was the book Dangerous by Tim Warnes. We got to meet Mole, who loves labeling, and the lumpy bumpy creature who turns out to be a really good friend to Mole. He didn't turn out to be dangerous at all. So they had to cover up that label or get rid of it and put one on that said friend instead. I hope you enjoyed this book, Dangerous by Tim Warnes, and I will see you for our next read aloud. Bye, Rocket.